Everybody, welcome back to Dan in the Seal Building here in Pittsburgh. So, what I'm talking, I was thinking as we were prepping for some of these conversations today. There's such a driving force among salespeople to have. Here's the box. Here's what I know works. It's worked for me. It's worked over the years. Everybody tells me it's going to work. I know it's going to work. So therefore, I'm going to go over here and do these things because I want it to be easier, simpler. There's this don't work hard, work smart mentality. I think we always try and take what works, break it down, and simplify it so we don't have to do the hard stuff. So I think part of that's human nature. But I was curious what your thoughts were on why people fight reality of what works so darn hard.
Because we get bored. I mean, you think about it.
All right, that's fair.
If you always do A, B, and C, and it always works, and you do that day in and day out, year in and year out, after a while, you're like, this isn't fun anymore. So then we start to add E and F and G and H and I. And before we know it, nothing's working. And we're like, I can't tell you how many times I coach with owners or with salespeople, and they say, I stopped doing this. And why? It worked.
Because it worked.
And the answer is because we get bored.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it really hard. So take what you're really good at and do it as much as you want. Now, if you want to change things up a little bit, go after a different industry. Go after a different marketplace.
Yep.
Go after a larger company, somebody with more net worth, whatever, up the game a bit.
Yes.
And that can kind of keep things interesting.
Yeah, and I think what you described with when we start to kick in D through G, the worst part, we stop doing A, B, and C. We just shut it down. Because you're right, this is new and shiny, and so it's got a different flavor, and it's kind of fun, and we want to figure something out. We want to innovate, but we abandon A through C, and 6 months later, we're wondering why we don't have new clients.
Totally agree. And one of the other things that pops up is, I think at times we have to wear this badge of honor. Like, I need to work at something really hard in order to be successful.
Yep.
Case in point, let me give you an example. I want you to pretend you own a business, and for whatever reason, you are in need of building your cash flow.
Okay.
In that particular instance, most business owners, small business owners, they're going to say, well, I need a cold call. And they start accumulating lists, and they start making calls because that's the thing to do. But what if you took all that time you spend doing that and you just said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to my top 5 clients, and I'm just going to ask them for a referral. Which is the simpler way to go? That.
Yes.
Which is going to give you the biggest possibility of making sales? That. Well, then why don't we do it? I don't know, because it almost feels like I've got to work really hard at this, and we don't.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to me. Just keep doing the things that work. If you want to add in those other things, have at it. But keep doing the things that work. So.
I agree. Keep
All
it
right.
simple.
Go Steelers.
Oh, there you go.